Does this situation ever happen to you? Where one of your friends randomly starts talking to you and says, "Oh my days guys, look at this new game. We have to flip and play it right now. Now!" And then they just proceed to show you the most generic horror game in existence. And the only things it has is proximity voice chat and funny ragdoll physics. Well, this never happens to me because I have no friends. But yeah, for some reason these days, you would start to notice that there are a lot of random games that spawn in for a week, they blow up on social media, and then your friends force you to buy it. And as the story goes, you play it once, and then never again. And I'd like to name this genre of a game, Friend Slop. A game that's only enjoyable with your friends pretty much once, and never again. And it's kind of crazy how there's such an insane rise in this genre. And I personally think it's because everyone is getting kind of bored of grinding the same competitive.
Sometimes in the life I'm too competitive, you know, it's good to be competitive.
Competitive games like Valorant or League. So I think these Friend Slop games are a nice change of pace. And it's pretty scary how fast these games can blow up and then suddenly they'll just blend back into obscurity. And just so you guys can understand my point, let's list some of these Friend Slop games, shall we? Peak. You climb a mountain with your friends. Gamble with your friends. Okay, that one's pretty self-explanatory. Mecha Chameleon. It's a game where you just hide. It's like Prop Hunt, but you gotta paint yourself. Super Battle Golf. Once again, just golf. Lethal Company, Content Warning, Repo, Escape the Backrooms. And you know, these are just the ones that are on the top of my head because I pretty much had to buy most of these games. And like I said before, I played them for a day and then never again. Except for Super Battle Golf. I low-key just kinda like golf. But now you may think that, wow, Smargo, it really sounds like you're not really a fan of these games. And to be perfectly honest with you, no, I'm not a fan of these games. Why? My wallet can't afford to invest into a new game to play once and never again. And on that note, I feel like most people don't stop to consider, why do most people only play these games once? And I think most people usually just chalk it up to, oh man, my friends are just kind of busy and it's hard to get everyone on at the same time, and he's working and he's an unemployed chud, and you know me, just like man. But no, there's a bigger reason as to why none of your friends are ever online on the game. And that is because most of these games are just pretty shallow. After an hour or two, you've probably seen all there is to see in these games. Hence, you guys never hop back into it. And a lot of you guys might say, but the game's so fun with my friends though. Well, I'm sorry to say it, Einstein, but literally anything is fun with your friends if you haven't noticed. So a game that's specifically designed to be a multiplayer party game? Yeah. I sure hope it's going to be fun, because that's literally what I'm paying for, you flippin' chud. And just to prove my point that a lot of these Friend Slop games are just pretty shallow, let's just quickly dissect one of them, so that I don't have an army of hate comments saying, well, actually you didn't mention blah blah blah, and yeah, this one and this. I'm sorry man, listen, I'm sorry. Just don't bully me in the comments. I can't take it, man, please. So yeah, let's just take a quick look at Super Battle Golf. And I know earlier I said I do like golf, but the sad thing about this game is that there isn't much of it to play. Let me explain. The key draw of this game is being able to assault your friends while racing to finish the golf course. Either being the fastest one or doing the course in the least amount of shots possible. Can you tell I actually don't know anything about golf? Me neither. And yeah, you might be thinking, well, that sounds pretty fun. You can just beat your friends on the golf course. And what else can I do? You know, like what options are there to beat them? And you can either whack them with your golf club or use any of the 10 unique items. And they range from getting a movement boost with some coffee, or you can have a golf cart, or there's a shield that blocks getting hit, yeah. Or there's a gun, an actual gun, you know, you can just shoot them. And there's a rocket launcher and an orbital laser. You get the idea. But, you know, I don't know about you, but it seems like the emphasis is less on the golf and more on just meeting up your friends. And there's only so many times you can nuke your friends before it starts to get a bit old. And after a certain point, the golf aspect just becomes secondary. And it just turns into a contest to try and rage bait that one victim in the friend group the most. And at first it's funny, but after the 20th time, it low-key turns into cyberbullying. And when they inevitably leave the VC and block you on every social platform, yeah, that's gonna happen. And when that does happen, thank you Super Battle Golf. I hated him anyways. Anyways, if we look at the reviews for this game, we can see that a lot of other people have this similar problem. And just bear with me while I just look on the reviews. 1 second. Did not decide to pull this up earlier because I am a chud. Okay, there you go. Not recommended, 2.5 hours on record. This game is great to play with friends, but in 1 or 2 nights of playing it, you exhaust the entire map pool and find yourself replaying them all. I was expecting more maps, they don't need to be perfect, coming after the release. I hope the developers invest into hiring some people to help them with this issue. Then I'll change my review into a positive one. I mean, okay, that was high-key the only negative review I found. But like, when I'm looking at the reviews, most of these guys have like 2 hours on record, or 4 hours on record, or 5 hours on record. It's like, people are not playing this game for that long. And sure, like I said, Friend Slop, like, you don't play it for that long. But at the same time, it's just, what is the point? Like, let's sort by negative. It's way too chaotic. Only fun when you're not a sweat lord, or play with your own group of friends. Okay, that makes sense. You play Friend Slop games with your own group of friends. I think this guy doesn't understand. Then this other guy said, this is probably a great fun time if you and your friends play it. Playing it with random people on the internet will only lead to anger and hatred. Once again, it's a Friend Slop game. The key word in the title is friends. If you do not have friends, do not buy this game. I don't know what to tell you. The game's pretty chill, just play it with your friends, and like I said, it gets old pretty fast. I even forgot to talk about the maps, but yeah, I did find myself replaying the same maps over and over again. But I didn't really notice that because I was just getting beat to a pulp in the corner, so there's that. Anyways, conclusion time. So to conclude everything we learned today, Friend Slop games aren't bad games, they're just built to do one specific job. And that is to give you and your friends something to do on a weekend. And the problem we keep mistaking with these games is we think the game itself is actually good, when in hindsight the game is pretty mid. But what makes it good is having your friends playing it with you. All it takes is one clip of someone getting nuked by an orbital laser on TikTok, and then bam, your entire friend group is suddenly hooked to buy this game. And yeah, that's literally the cycle of these Friend Slop games. There's one viral TikTok clip that gets blown up, and then suddenly everyone on your friend list wants to play this game with you. And then give it a week or two, and then the next viral clip hits of this next viral game, which is where you gamble with your friends, or you do a mecha chameleon, or you blah blah blah. You know, it's like Lethal Company. All of these games, they blow up one after the other, after the other, after the other. So yeah, they're all the same. They're all a pretty shallow game that is only fun with your group of friends. If you play them with a random group of people, you start to realize how boring and how shallow the game really is. Like those Steam reviews we saw earlier, where everyone is complaining that the game just kind of sucks if you're not playing it with your friends. Who would have known? The genre is literally called Friend Slop. And if you liked me ranting like a schizo about Friend Slop games, then, you know, you can always hit the subscribe button and like and tell me what to do. Wait, what? Tell me what you want me to do. Tell me what videos you want in the future. But in the meantime, I'm probably going to be a chud. And chud. Yeah. Please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.